Welcome to Bible Reader Companion. Our Bible reading this week is Matthew chapters 23 through 28 and 1 Corinthians chapters 1 through 4. Our memory verse is 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 17, which reads in the New King James, "For Christ did not send me to baptize, but to preach the gospel, not with wisdom of words, lest the cross of Christ should be made of no effect." We've emphasized all week that Paul's message is not about de-emphasizing baptism, but emphasizing the message over the messenger. That we're not focusing on my wisdom and my ability to deliver, or in this case, Paul's ability to deliver, or the teachers in Corinth's ability to deliver, but to focus on the message of the cross of Christ. And Paul emphasizes exactly this in 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and beginning in verse 1. Let's look at this. 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and beginning in verse 1. The Apostle Paul writes and says, "And I, brethren, could not speak to you as spiritual people, but as to carnal, as to babes in Christ. For I fed you with milk and not with solid food, for until now you were not able to receive it. And even now you are still not able. For you are still carnal. For where there are envy, strife, and divisions among you, are you not carnal and behaving like mere men? For when one says, I am of Paul, and another, I am of Apollos, are you not carnal? Who then is Paul, and who is Apollos? But ministers through whom you believed, as the Lord gave to each one. I planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase. So that neither he who plants is anything, nor is he who waters, but God who gives the increase. Now he who plants and he who waters are one, and each one will receive his own reward according to his labor, according to his own labor. For we are God's fellow workers. You are God's field, and you are God's building. According to the grace of God which was given to me as a wise master builder, I have laid the foundation, and another builds on it. But let each one take heed how he builds on it. For no other foundation can anyone lay than that which is laid, which is Jesus Christ." And there is the key. Here were these people, and they were all wrapped up in who had taught them the truth. We're all worried about who had converted them and who had been the one that had baptized them. Evidently, based on our memory verse, concerned about how many baptisms each one had and promoting, well, this one's baptized more than that one. Paul said, look, I hadn't baptized that many at all, and that's not what's important. What's important is that I preach the message. And in this chapter, he says, look, when you are focusing on who you belong to other than Christ, he said, you're just still men. You're not spiritual. So when you're spiritual, you realize that it's not about who taught you or who baptized you. It's about the foundation of Jesus Christ. That's what's important. He said, look, I planted, Apollos waters, others build, others add to the foundation, but the foundation never changes. What is the foundation? The foundation is Jesus Christ. We can't change that. When we do, then we're no longer followers of Christ. We're followers of somebody else. We're no longer Christians. We are the follower, because that's what Christian means, isn't it? It's a follower of Christ. When we begin to focus on the messenger and follow the messenger and put the emphasis on the messenger, then we've lost our focus on the one true foundation. The one true foundation is Jesus Christ. And let us all make sure that that's the foundation upon which we are building. That's what makes the most importance. Not whether we're the ones who actually dunk somebody in the water, but whether or not we are preaching the message of Jesus Christ. And that's what Paul said, 1 Corinthians 1 and verse 17. For Christ did not send me to baptize, but to preach the gospel, not with wisdom of words, lest the cross of Christ should be made of no effect. Thank you for thinking on these things, and we hope you'll join us again tomorrow.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook for more content like this.